Ah, hello there. I've been expecting you because I'm Jeff Beeden and this is Brewing Beeden Beer. Today we're going to be brewing a Yuengling lager clone. Very excited. I've never brewed a lager clone before. I hope that you're excited too. Come on, first step, get the ingredients over to the fridge. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why am I in the fridge? Well, there's a few ingredients we need to keep in the fridge. First one, bittering hops. Hops are a plant product, and the plants, if we leave them on the counter, they're just going to dry out and turn brown, lose all their flavor. We need them to be fresh. Second one, the finishing hops. Finishing hops are the same as the bittering hops, but they are added at different times in the process. Now that we got the hops out of the fridge, we have all our ingredients. Here we have our bittering hops, our finishing hops. We have 2 quarts of pale malt extract. We have 1 quart of an adjunct, which is actually just a sugar additive in order to add flavor and enhance the head of our particular beer. This empty spot is for the water that we're going to be adding to the beer. This is our yeast. This is a Saftlager yeast. This is a hybrid yeast between ale and lager, and it's intended to help the lager ferment at an elevated temperature. And then right here, we're going to have my beer that I need to drink while brewing. So, I almost forgot the most important ingredient. That's my beer. Let's see. Here's a good one. All right, we're good. Okay, got my beer, ready to get going. So, before we fill the water up, a lot of people are concerned about their water. The water in the beer is, the biggest ingredient, because beer, more than anything, is water. Second thing, now that I got my beer, just want to talk about it a little bit. It's 400 Pound Monkey, an English style IPA from Left Hand Brewery in Colorado. I'm a big fan of Colorado brewers, and this one is really good. My favorite IPA is Lagunitas. It's got a little bit mellower flavor, but this one's good too. So I'll be drinking this throughout the night and hopefully stay coherent through the entire program. Let's go. So, I like to do a full wort boil. In this case, we're going to boil an entire 5 gallons of water. I only have cup measuring cups, so we're going to do 4 cups 20 times to give us the 80 cups for the 5 gallons. One. It's going to take a while. So, we got the 5 gallons of water on the stove. We're all set, we're ready to go, ready to start the boil. Perfect. Take a little while. Okay, we got the water boiling, and now what do? Because, the old adage, a wash pot never boils, it's true. This pot is going to take some time to boil. 5 gallons of water takes a lot of heat to boil. So what I typically do at times like this is I like to sterilize and clean all of my other products, like the fermenter that we're going to be putting the beer in and all the other components that go along with that. So I'm going to go do that. You sit here and watch the pot boil. Now that our water's been heating up for 20 minutes, let's see what temperature it is. With my trusty candy thermometer, I'm going to measure it, see how high it goes. Just like I thought, we got to 200 degrees. 200 degrees is the perfect temperature to start adding our malt extracts and our adjunct. Now I know what some of you are thinking. This guy is brewing with a lobster pot. Most people brew with stainless steel kettles. Some people use even copper kettles. Not for boiling. Most people use stainless steel kettles for boiling wort, but you know what? I was looking for an inexpensive way to get this done, so I bought a 7.5 gallon lobster pot from Bed Bath & Beyond. First, we're going to add 1 quart of malt extract. Now that that quart's been added, we're going to add a 2nd quart of malt extract. Notice how it's foaming a little bit. We had to stir it. I had to put the camera down. You know, we're just getting all this stuff in there. It takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of patience. It's going to reduce the temperature of your wort too. And remember I said that was right up at 200 degrees when we added this. So I'm going to have to stir this again and we'll be right back to add the adjunct. Notice we added the 2nd quart of malt extract and it's getting a little bit thicker, a little bit darker. I tell you, the smell coming off it, it smells a little bit like bread. It's delicious right now. I just want to eat it. Now we're going to add a 1/2 quart of the adjunct, or the sugar additive. And we're going to let that get in there. We're going to let that all mix up, and then we're going to let it reach a boil and see where that goes. Perfect. We're boiling. We're ready to add that first set of hops, the bittering hops. Here we go. Notice how the wort foam is starting to break up in certain areas. That is indicating that the boil is about to start. So now that we're about to boil, a lot of people like to recommend that you turn off the heat to add the hops because of the potential overflow. I've never had any problems with overflow. I don't intend to now. So now that you can see the bubbles just starting to break through the foam, we're going to start adding the hops because I'm impatient. Now, the hops in this case are Hallertau hops. They are a hop out of Germany, and we're just going to toss the pelletized hops right in there. The pellets are just the way that they preserve the hops, and that's what we're going to do. So we're good. Now that we've added the hops, if you notice, the foam is an awkward green foam, and it's going to stay that way for some time. The boiling is commencing, so we're underway. We're going to keep stirring for the next 45 minutes, and then we're going to add our finishing hops. But, you know, just note the disgusting color, but it's still delicious. Now that we've added our hops, we need to continuously stir the wort for the next 45 minutes in order to prevent it from scorching. It's going to be here a while. At this point, there's 15 minutes left in the boiling process for the wort, and this is where we add our finishing hops. We're adding the finishing hops along with another additive. It's called Irish moss. Irish moss is interesting because it's not Irish, nor is it moss. It's actually a seaweed that is developed in the sea, and they use that in order to encourage the flocculation of yeast as they die after they ferment the sugars into ethanol. And the flocculation will allow the yeast to fall out of suspension and clarify your beer. Okay, last 15 minutes are over and we're ready to chill the wort. I don't have a wort chiller, so the only way for me to chill the 7.5 gallon pot of water is to get it into the laundry tub, fill that laundry tub with ice and water, and let it sit there and cool. So let's do that now. Move it with the lid that we sterilized so that we can keep everything out of it. The pot goes right in the ice water bath, and it's in there, and we're going to let that cool for about an hour. Okay, now that the wort is cooled to about the 80-degree range, we're ready to move the wort from the original boiling pot into the fermenter, which has been sanitized. We have the fermenter with the trap lid so that no air can get in, nothing can come out. Only the carbon dioxide from the yeast fermentation. And we are going to be taking the 5 gallons and we're going to be putting it right into the fermenter. Now, when I do this, since it's cooled, we can allow oxygen to get into the air, into the wort, and that's actually what we want to do, because we want the oxygen in the wort for the yeast to eat. So here we go, going into the fermenter, just dumping it in, allowing it to bubble up, allowing everything to get in there, all the hops, all the malt, everything. So we're done with the pot now. The fermenter has a nice head on it. The temperature is down in the 80s. So we're okay to pitch the yeast at this point. What's going on in there right now is the yeast are getting situated, and what they're going to do is they're going to eat all the sugars. They're going to give off ethanol, which is the alcohol that we're going to drink, and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is going to be released through the trap so that the carbon dioxide leaves this particular type of beer. And what we're going to do when we bottle it is we're going to take that carbon dioxide and use that to carbonate it. We'll do that next time. Thank you for joining us here on Brewing, Beeden Beer. Next time we'll be bottling our fermented beer, and I hope you can join us. Till then, cheers.